When you hear the words dark web, you probably think of hackers, hitmen, and horrifying crimes. But what if I told you, not everything there is illegal? In fact, some of it is shockingly legal and even useful. From rare banned books to whistleblower tools and digital freelancers, the dark web hides a strange world where legality and secrecy coexist. What you're about to discover might just change everything you thought you knew. Before we dive deeper, let's clear something up. The dark web isn't a single mysterious place. It's a part of the internet that isn't indexed by traditional search engines like Google. To access it, you need special software like the Tor browser, which hides your identity and encrypts your connection. While parts of it are used for criminal activity, a surprising portion of the dark web is perfectly legal. Think of it more like a hidden alleyway. What you find there depends entirely on where you look. On the surface web, some books are banned, censored, or simply erased by authoritarian regimes. But on the dark web, these texts often find a second life. Entire digital libraries exist, offering access to rare literature, political documents, and historical records that are blocked in many countries. For activists, researchers, and the curious, this is a treasure trove of knowledge that would otherwise be lost. It's not illegal to read most of this content, but depending on where you live, accessing it might raise serious eyebrows. Not everything on the dark web is hidden out of fear. Some of it is hidden to protect the truth. Platforms like SecureDrop and GlobaLeaks allow whistleblowers to safely and anonymously leak sensitive information to journalists. These tools have been used by major media outlets like the New York Times and The Guardian. In many countries, this is completely legal and even considered a vital part of press freedom. These sites don't deal in stolen data for profit. They exist to expose corruption, protect sources, and hold the powerful accountable. Cryptocurrency may sound like the currency of crime, but on the dark web, not all crypto services are illegal. In fact, many operate within legal gray zones. Wallets, mixers, and escrow services are designed to protect user privacy, not necessarily to break the law. Think of it this way. Cash can be used for crime, but that doesn't make cash illegal. Crypto wallets let users hold their assets anonymously. Mixers or tumblers scramble the digital trail of a transaction, making it harder to trace, but not inherently criminal. Escrow services, which act as middlemen for deals, help users avoid scams. All of these tools serve legitimate purposes for journalists, activists, businesses, and even ordinary people concerned with privacy. Still, these tools can easily be abused, and often are. That's what makes them controversial. Legal in some countries, restricted in others, and outright banned in a few, these services walk the tightrope between privacy and illegality. Not everyone who values privacy is doing something wrong. In fact, on the dark web, some of the most commonly used tools are completely legal and built specifically to protect people from surveillance, censorship, and tracking. Encrypted email services, like ProtonMail's.onion site, let users communicate without exposing their identity or location. Anonymous chat platforms allow people in repressive countries to speak freely. Some dark web users are simply journalists, human rights defenders, or everyday people escaping data collection. These tools don't sell anything illegal. They don't steal data. They just offer something the modern web often lacks: true anonymity. And in many places, that's still perfectly legal. For now. Here's something you probably didn't expect: shopping. Yes, the dark web has marketplaces, and not all of them sell drugs or weapons. In fact, some offer perfectly legal, if very strange, items. From Soviet-era badges to rare coins, vintage comic books, discontinued tech, and even cursed objects sold as haunted artifacts. There's a niche for everything. These items often don't break any laws. They're just too weird, too controversial, or too obscure to be listed on mainstream sites like eBay. What makes them end up on the dark web? Simple: anonymity, exclusivity, and freedom from platform bans. These sellers don't want their accounts flagged, and buyers don't want judgmental eyes watching their purchases. It's legal, it's bizarre, and it's real. Beneath the dark web's eerie reputation lies something surprisingly human: conversation. Thousands of users gather in anonymous forums to discuss philosophy, hacking, survivalism, digital privacy, or just vent their deepest thoughts. And believe it or not, many of these communities are completely legal. Some forums function as mental health support groups where people can speak freely without fear of being tracked, judged, or labeled. Others are home to open-source developers, political dissidents, or even whistleblowers sharing life-saving information. They might look unsettling: hidden usernames, strict anonymity, strange symbols, but many of these spaces are about connection, not crime. In a world that's constantly watching, these forums offer something rare: a place to be honest without consequences. Believe it or not, the dark web has a job market. Not for hitmen or hackers, but for freelancers, programmers, writers, graphic designers, even ethical hackers offer their services legally, just under a veil of total anonymity. These aren't shady criminals. They're skilled workers who prefer privacy. Some live under repressive regimes. Others fear online harassment. And many simply don't want to be tracked by data-hungry platforms. They advertise on encrypted forums, take payment in crypto, and communicate through secure, anonymous channels. It's a strange sight: professionalism wrapped in total secrecy. But here's the twist: much of it is legal, just hidden. Think Fiverr, if it lived in the shadows. So yes, many things on the dark web are technically legal. But here's the truth no one tells you: legal doesn't always mean safe. Even legal platforms can be crawling with scams, trackers, and government surveillance traps. A legal forum could be a honeypot set up by law enforcement. A harmless book site might host malware-laced downloads, and that helpful stranger offering freelance services, they might disappear the moment your crypto is sent. The dark web is a place where trust is fragile and mistakes are expensive. It's built on layers of anonymity for a reason. One wrong click, one misstep, and you could expose your data, your wallet, or your identity. So while some things are legal down there, don't confuse legality with safety. They're two very different things in the shadows of the web. The dark web isn't just black or white. It's a shifting gray zone, where privacy meets paranoia, and where legality doesn't always equal morality. Yes, you can find legal tools, books, services, and communities, but they live in a world designed to hide, to encrypt, and to escape control. Some people come here for freedom. Others come for secrets. But everyone comes knowing one thing: nothing here is as simple as it seems. You've just seen a side of the dark web few ever talk about: the legal, the strange, and the surprisingly human. But this is only the surface of what's really hiding in the shadows. Want more stories from the hidden corners of the internet? Hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and let us know in the comments what shocked you the most. The dark web isn't going anywhere, and neither are we. Please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon for more videos.